What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk and spit on that thing. You get me?
Oh, that's nice. Let's smack it in the ass.
Morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to video message number 29.
Listen up, the ratings just came in for last month. We are number one. We just grabbed every key demographic. Super duper, gang. Super duper. That's nice. Way to go. Neato, gang.
Yes.
Boy, that is good news.
It is the 28th day of October, 2024. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday morning on the Power Trip Morning Show. How are you today? Are we looking, let's see, it says here we had a record high today. Is that right? Hold on a second, everybody. Be cool. Tomorrow's high might break the record. 81 tomorrow, 74 today and 81 tomorrow. That's ridiculous. So check this out. This is Monday, 74, Tuesday, 81, Wednesday, 67, Thursday's high, 46. Halloween, high, 46, and 54 on Friday. Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Chris Hawkey here with your weather. Here's what's up. Today is Monday. We got Ben Leber. We got Michael J. Mussman III. No Saucy because he's out in Vegas. And the regular cast of characters. And then, of course, looks like we're going to have us the punter for your Minnesota Golden Gopher squad who just stomped the S word out of Maryland. He'll be in today as well. So, cast of thousands. Let's get her started. Here's some comedy from Greg Barrett. It's the Power Trip Morning Show on Monday. Now, you come on in. I am glad you're here.
I have two rules when you come to my house on Halloween. They're pretty simple, man. Wear a costume. Wear a costume, because if you've manned your door at your own house, you know how many kids will roll up 14 years old with no costume and attitude. You know, and you know what I say to those dudes? When a dude comes up on my porch like that, I'm like, hey, is this no costume candy giveaway day? I didn't think so. Get off my porch. Before I thump you, get off. I'm serious. Get off the porch. Come back on no costume candy giveaway day, and we'll do some business then, certainly. But now, then, get off. Wear a costume. And my other rule, don't grab. Don't grab and run. Don't be Johnny reach and grab. Don't be yanking and pull. Let me assess you. And then design a candy situation for you. I think you'd be pleased.
Okay, so what the hell? Wasn't it like a week ago, and I know those 10-day forecasts and stuff are garbage, but wasn't it a week ago we were supposed to have like an all-time high on Halloween, and then you just went through the temps for the week, and the only day that it bottoms out is freaking Halloween?
That's the only day.
The kids cannot catch a break in this state.
I know.
No. High of 46?
That's what they get, though. Being bastards. Am I right?
God dang.
Talk about it, brother.
Yeah, financial drains.
Yeah, straighten up. Straighten up.
Warrior.
Straighten up. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. But, like, it's going to be soups hot today and tomorrow, which sucks. Tomorrow, really hot, like 81 or some crap.
Well, do what I do. Just don't go outside. It's nice indoors.
Yeah.
You can avoid skin cancer and things like that. It's nice.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to have to follow that
What's
creed.
the password for this?
Yeah. Well, don't follow Creed. That's a waste of money.
No, that's not a waste of money.
Creed, take them higher.
One of the best bands of all time.
Of all time.
Is that right?
That's right.
You mentioned Saucy's in Vegas. I believe Creasel says this is trip number 50 to Vegas.
Look at that.
Wow. I should have kept count. I wonder what I'm at. How many do you think you've been to, Christopher? We've been as a show about 10 times.
I started going in 92.
Driving from L.A.?
Yeah, first time I ever went, I drove from L.A. That's right.
Do you think it's close to 50 for yourself as well?
Probably not.
Half that, though, maybe?
Yeah, at least half that. Sure.
25-ish?
Sure. I bet, yeah. So,
Zachary, you're pulling up, it looks like on your notes app, every time you've been to Las Vegas as well.
Yeah, I keep track.
You do? How many?
Actually,
It looks like about 18, 19?
Yeah, actually, 18 was the...
Yeah, I got LASIK. Thanks, Dr. David Whiting. I can see across the room.
It
looked
creepy,
like about
man.
18.
You got like cyborg vision over there.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I can't see blank.
Yep. I bet I'm at... I got to be somewhere close to 40 at this point. I don't think I'm at 50. I think Greece has got me. But I don't think I'm going again until June.
I don't think I've ever had a year, even with the Power Trip Morning Show, well, maybe one or two where I've gone more than once.
Oh.
I think maybe,
Yeah.
I don't think I have.
For years and years and years, I only went once, and now it's 2 is probably the minimum. I think the most I've done is 4. I know Creasel's crushed that. Hasn't he had years where it's like every 2 months he goes? So it's like 6-ish.
That's crazy.
I think that's right. 4 is too many. Like 2 or 3 is the sweet spot.
I was looking at flights. I was going to fly out there on Friday, just surprise the guys. And then I thought, I don't want to do that.
Flights relatively cheap this time of year?
They weren't so bad, but I didn't even look at the price.
Because I did look, I looked a couple months down the road because I'm like, I can't wait until June to go. And I looked a couple months from now, and one-ways were $79 plus bags.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is too good to be true. I should probably just do that.
It sucks because when you get there, it's not as cheap, but like flying there and
in the
staying
winter
there, as long as you got some sort of like comp situation, it can
City
be
of
pretty
Compton.
cheap.
Yep.
Yeah, I almost did it. And then I was like,
That would have been funny.
I don't think I'm going to do that. Yeah, it would have been real fun because I'd have been like, hey, where are you guys at?
And then, of course, they would have been like,
Actually,
hey, we're going to spend the next 12 hours at a sports book. And you're like, guess I shouldn't have showed up here.
Catching the next flight
Sauce is
back
already
home.
in bed. But it's 4 PM. Yeah, he's sleepy. So screw it.
But again, that's the beauty of Vegas. Everybody does it differently. I can't do what they do.
No.
I do love Circa, and that sports book is sick.
Yeah.
I cannot just sit there and drink and watch sports for 12 hours. Sure, I want to bet on them, right? I want to have the sports betting ticket in my pocket. I want bets. I want action, but I can't sit there for 12 hours. I don't do that at home. I'm not going to do that in Vegas.
Is Creasel the Diesel still out there?
I think they all are.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was out there Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
JC.
We talked about that.
That's a long-ass trip. Four is the max.
I think Tim might
Anything
have gone
after
out
4 in your...
Tuesday.
Say that again?
I think Tim went out Tuesday.
Yeah, that sounds right. He was probably dry humping a slot machine.
Well, he's got to get out there and clear the air for Creasel. Creasel the Diesel they need to be warned that he's on his way.
It's one of those reminders that everything you do could be etched in somebody else's brain forever. When I watched Tim at point 2 just dry hump a slot machine, I don't know why now every time I hear Tim, and Tim's an American hero.
He is.
Whenever I hear Tim Nelson's name, I just go, that's the guy that dry humps slot machines.
Yeah.
And he's an awesome dude. He saves lives.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Every sense of the word, American hero.
I know, but he also gives it to slot machines against their will.
I think they're willing. I don't
think they are.
I think they would be more than willing if they knew what he did.
If they were capable of knowing it's Tim, sure they'd let him do it. But
I think that they literally were asking for it.
Yeah, I think so too. You know those lights on the top of the slot machine? That's a come hump me, Tim.
That's what it is. Yeah, a button bar.
I also know Sauce is still in Vegas because him and I were texting back and forth last night because, look, I don't know why he's a little gun shy to say this in the air. I don't care. Look, when it comes to the Charge Challenge, you got to cheer for injury. And Hawks guy Jordan Mason probably shouldn't have played at all, according to everybody on Twitter complaining that the whole thing is rigged and that Jordan Mason works for the Las Vegas sports books.
Right.
But I guess he had an injured shoulder before the game, and then the Niners were a little coy on how injured he was. He ran the ball 6 times, 18 yards, and then was down on the ground, went to the locker room, came back in the second half, but stood on the sidelines the entire time. So he got 1 point for Chris.
That's right.
Which means, sorry, Zach, almost anybody that had a relatively good week kind of got back in this thing. Yeah. Zach, this was your week.
What happened?
I'm done. I'm literally done.
You just can't do it, man.
I'm done playing. I mean, this is it.
He took Kenneth Walker. What did he get? 4 points? I think it was 4.
I feel like I've heard, Zach, this is your week several weeks, and you still don't, it never comes.
This was your chance, though. Chris had an injury. He got 1 point.
Yeah.
And was it Creased? Somebody else made almost no movement as well. I think it was Creased.
Yeah, and I didn't get the chance to choose again.
No.
I picked 6th, and that was who I was given. And
they're still losing to you.
So I was like, nothing I can do about it. I can't be pissed. I didn't make a bad choice. That's all I had.
It's just another year of there's somebody that makes a line, like a line graph on the points as the season goes. Yeah. And it's the second straight year now where I have the big weeks when the leader the ghost has the big week, and I have the horrible weeks when the ghost has the horrible weeks. I can't make up any ground ever. From the very beginning of the year, I always start 20 points behind because my guy gets hurt, and then I get to week 8, and I'm still exactly where I am at 20, 30, 50. Don't even tell me what the number is. Right?
So let's combine the beginning of this segment with where we're at now, which is Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And the group that's out in Las Vegas and the Charge Challenge.
Right.
I texted Sauce at 7:49 Central Time last night. Let's hope Jordan Mason is dead or at least a torn ACL. Yeah, I didn't know why he was down on the ground, right?
That's aggressive.
I didn't see the play. I just saw him down, and they were like, Jordan Mason's still down. Well, we'll check on when we get back. And I'm like, oh, geez, let's hope he's dead.
It's aggressive.
So I text Sauce, let's hope Jordan Mason's dead or at least a torn ACL.
I'm going to say it again. That's aggressive.
3 minutes later, he texts back, what? With 4 question marks. So think about what that means. That's 5:53 Vegas time. That means he wasn't watching football. There's a 99% chance then Sauce was already in bed.
1,000%.
Right?
Yeah.
It's almost 6 o'clock Vegas time.
Oh,
he had been there all day watching sports.
Nah.
This is the Sunday night football game. He wasn't watching because I was breaking the news to him. That means he's not at Circa. It's almost 6. He's not walking the strip, right?
Yeah.
That means he is in bed right before 6 o'clock in Las Vegas, Nevada.
And there was a time, a very small time, like amount of time, where he was 0.6 the entire time he was out there. But that time is come and gone. He's around people who are 0.6.
Dry humping slot machines.
And then he says to himself, I'm out of here. And he pulls a Saucy, which is a Hawkey only in Vegas.
And a Hawkey only, but he tells people, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
So he announces he's leaving,
He does,
unlike you, but he does definitely say, all right, that's enough. I'm going to bed.
Yep.
And that's it. So my guess is he was in bed before 6 o'clock.
I'm going to guess you're right. Yeah, I'm going to, yep, I think you're right.
I wonder if I woke him up.
Probably not. He's probably yerking it.
That's Swedish for jerking it.
That's right. Yeah. It's the way he does it.
We're diversifying.
Yeah.
It's like everybody else does it. It's just on an IKEA mattress.
Yeah. And with candy. Chocolate. A lot of chocolate.
Why would you go to IKEA and not get the cinnamon rolls?
Yeah,
They're unbelievable.
Yeah. He's like that. I don't know. I just don't know. But you know what? I'm glad I did not go to Vegas because I would have just spent a lot of money.
And it sounds like you would have spent almost no time with them because, again, you're not going to sit there for 10 hours to watch sports.
No, I might have
checked in.
And it would have been awkward to be in his room with him when he's yerking. Again.
Hey, Jordan Mason got hurt. I'm just watching sports.
There is nothing worse, though,
than
getting a text.
When you're yerking?
Yeah.
That's the worst thing that can happen to you?
That is the
Man, you've
worst.
lived a pretty good life.
I really have.
That
Must be pretty nice to be Zacho if that's the rock bottom. Oh, man, I got texted right in the middle.
What if it's the kind of text that Carly showed you the other day?
I mean, that's a good one.
That's a good one?
That's a good one. Yeah, but then it's like the other ones where you're just like, oh boy, now I got a decision to make.
It's a habit.
Yeah. And then you have to, because then you can't stop thinking about
habit.
Well, not.
Yeah, why don't you combine the two?
Responding to the text at the receiver.
Yep.
Receiver?
The receiver.
Yeah.
Randy Moss.
Let's hope. Ben Leber is going to be here in like an hour. Obviously, we'll talk a lot of NFL. That Hail Mary was unbelievable. People are calling it the Hail Maryland. I like that kind of.
Nice.
That was an unbelievable game. I was watching that live, actually. Caught that live. It was unbelievable. That was so sick. We can talk about that. Muss at 7. Dragan Kesic, the awesome kicker of the Minnesota Golden Gophers. We haven't checked in with him in a while. He's going to be here at about 7:30. That team can't lose all of a sudden.
They beat the hell out of Maryland.
Crushed them.
I mean, and I know everybody was like, well, it's Maryland. I'm like, yeah, but we're the Gophers.
Yeah, I mean,
we're normally the team that has that happen to them.
And Maryland's beat a couple of teams that are okay.
It doesn't matter who you play.
You smoked them.
You smoke them.
And that was easily Brosmer's best game of the year.
Yeah, it's too bad we've only got him for a year.
Yeah.
He's figuring it out, man.
He
can sling it, man. 320 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Some of those throws are legitimate, like, wow.
He zips it, right? He's not a big
a zipper.
arc guy. He just zips it.
Yeah.
He's got a little Brock Purdy to him.
That's
Just
right.
give him a second, and he's going to be unbelievably accurate, and he's just going to zip it in there.
Yeah, he forces it in there. And
Love it.
Works.
And of course, Coy, and on the defensive side, that was
And carp.
Yep.
fun to watch.
And smallmouth bass.
Yep. Swordfish.
Yep.
Stabbing ladies
Other
in the
various
chest.
aquatic animals.
Walleye.
Yep, that's one.
Yeah. Good old
This
walleye.
segment would have been brought to you or is brought to you by Gutter Helmet and Gutter Helmet MN.
Yeah, man.
But Sauce isn't here to mention it.
He ain't here to do it. He's
Never clean
he's
your
probably
gutters
already
again.
awake. I guarantee you, he's awake listening to the show right now.
Well, that's the problem. If you go to bed at 6 o'clock, it's 3:45 Vegas time. That would be sleeping for 9 hours.
Plus,
right? Get up.
He can't get an erection without you putting him down. It's the only way he can get hard.
Him and me both, buddy.
Quote of the week, Camden. Already.
More of the Power Trip Morning Show after this on The Fan.
The Fan.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Saucy. Wakey, wakey. And you know what? Hands on, Snakey. Go ahead. You're on vacation.
Oh.
Yeah, I know.
What a mess.
Lady, get out of this room if you don't want to see it, okay?
You're heavy.
No, that's me. Here, let him put his shirt on.
But he does have to be put down first, so maybe he likes it.
Right.
Good to know.
It is good to know. Our traffic lady cleans hotel rooms in Vegas.
She's a freaky bee.
Well, I mean, she's got to make ends meet. I mean, you know, I mean,
It's high heart.
you said it, brother.
Listen to the Hulkster.
You guys hiring?
Can you imagine the disgustingness? That's not even a word.
Yeah.
How disgusting that job must be. Because you're going to find a dead person from time to time.
You do. Yeah.
And that's
Yeah, for
probably
sure. That's
the
gonna
least.
happen.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
least of your worries.
Yeah. And you come home, you're like, how was work? And she's like, well, I found a dead person. He's like, oh, no. She's like, oh, no, that's not the worst thing that I found tonight.
That was hour one.
I went into this big guy from Minnesota's room, and he was yerking it with his tiny hands.
And then her husband's like, when did you start speaking Swedish?
I don't know. It's what he called it. Busy, I'm yerking.
Do you guys remember I told you that story about one of my my poker playing buddies? I'm not going to name his name because I don't know if his wife knows this story.
Oh, no.
But he always put his money in the safe every single time.
Okay, right.
The one time he puts it in the nightstand, $15,000. And he didn't think about it until he got to the airport and realized, oh, crap. And when he went back, it was not there. So to your point, though, sure, they find dead bodies. Somebody that cleaned that room found $15,000. And all I could think was, my guess is they are, quote, required to go through the drawers to clean them, right? In case stuff's left in the drawers. Because otherwise, I almost never use the drawers. You guys use drawers at hotels?
No.
Never. I never do. But
no,
my
just
guess
for when
is
I read the Bible.
which they aren't in Vegas rooms anymore. But yeah, so you bring it for fun.
Yeah, there's moments
You brought it
where
with.
I'm like, Lord, I'm going to read this Bible. If you can help me get that money back.
I mean, it's Sin City.
Lord, if you could stop this penis from doing what it wants to do, I'll read this Bible.
It's a miracle.
Yeah, that's a miracle.
Anyway.
Can you imagine that cleaning lady's day?
Yeah, that's what she said. She opened the drawer and went, that
It's a miracle.
It's a miracle.
Oh, yeah.
And this dude has the best attitude about it ever. He's even told me multiple times, including about a week ago, he's like, look, you know, he or she needed it more than I do, so I hope they, whatever.
Oh, man.
I'm like, I would not have handled it as well as you did.
No, me neither.
Whoops.
I would have turned into the Joker.
This person need their house cleaned like around here. Like, there might be some people around here that
Yeah,
could.
no.
I used to be a janitor. I got skills.
There would definitely have been an episode of CSI because I would have found that person.
I'd have been kicking down doors like Liam Neeson.
Well, but think about that. Couldn't you ask the hotel, I need to know the name or two of the people who cleaned my room?
Oh, yeah.
Because they have to have some kind of a log. Who was there that day, that hour? Whose responsibility was that room? Don't they have to sign in and out in terms of which floor?
You're like, yeah, I would guess so.
So my guess is, couldn't you investigate the hell out of them then? Couldn't you look at the cameras? Couldn't you go through their stuff that day and say, do you have $15,000 in your duffel bag?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, if you jump on it quickly, my guess is a casino can pinch that person.
I would think so, but
they
again,
got an ethical dilemma when they find the $15K. What do you do?
yeah, I wonder, like, I mean, that's an extreme amount of money, but maybe it's not. Maybe that kind of thing happens a lot. Maybe you're cleaning out a suite and you find a ticket somebody got wasted and forgot to cash in, or I don't know. Or chips, I don't know. But I'll tell you, it'd be like...
These are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories.
We would be finding some people.
Man.
Sex.
You would have found them, and then Hawk, they would have been like, Hawk, you just gave it to us.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, I did tonight. That's right. Oh, you're right. Never mind.
You gave us your key and said there's $15,000 in the nightstand.
I'll be like,
it's all yours.
So you've got a key to every room, right? Do you have a key to the window?
To the wall.
Sir, your $15,000 is in that slot machine that Mr. Nelson is dry humping.
Or they would have told you their life story, and you would have just ended up giving them more money anyway.
Yeah. Got a place to stay?
You're right. Cleaning Las Vegas hotel rooms. Even more than just normal hotel rooms. Normal hotel rooms are like, oh man, you got to see some really gross stuff. Vegas hotel rooms is just debauchery.
I've got a friend
People
who
lose
did
their
it.
minds.
I've got a friend who cleaned a hotel room for 4 months between her junior and senior year of high school.
In Indiana, then, right?
No, here.
Oh, here.
Yeah. She told me the story.
Oh, not your, not your high school, just her high school.
She was telling me, it was the most disgusting thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, just the brown streaks on the towels alone. Oh. Can you imagine, right? Oh. That's one. But the amount of gentlemen who'd be like, oh, hey, by any chance you'd like to step into the room here? Having no idea, of course, that she's
17.
Yeah, right. Still, I mean, everything you could think of happened in that 3 to 4 month span where she's just cleaning hotel rooms. I'm like, my God, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were in.
Yeah, I have a friend or family member who manages a fair amount of hotels, and we spent all night listening to stories of, I mean, what was the one? There was one where they found an SD card in the room that was left behind, and
you just tossed that.
And yeah, they opened it up and found a bunch of professionally shot videos and photos in the hotel of people doing things with each other.
Illegal things, though?
No, but just
Hi, meat. I thought that was going to get really dark there for a second.
No.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there was some dark stories on that too, that front too.
Yeah, were they like, is that Mark Rosen?
Yes.
What did he say?
Get back to the pie. Get back to the pie.
Wearing a jigsaw mask?
Yeah. His name is on a list apparently, and his face is on every wall of all of his hotels. Do not let this man.
Not let this guy in.
So my wife has a theory, and I tend to stand by this as well, that even though I don't necessarily fall into this category, she thinks everybody at some point in their life should work in the service industry so you understand what it's like to be on the other side of it, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's being a waitress or whatever. I also would argue that if you work in the service industry at any given time, you also see the worst in humanity.
No doubt.
So you probably see why servers are on edge a lot. It's like the stuff they've had to put up with. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So they know the struggle, they know how hard it is, they know how hard they have to work, but they also know the hell that they have to put up with, especially females, right? Waitresses get just the worst things said to them, asked to them.
Oh man, I
propositioned. The worst.
So I'm not gonna. I won't even come close to saying where I was at, but I stopped to get some food at a place yesterday, and I rolled in, and there were, in my view, 6 people working there, and only one of them was making the food. Only one of them, and there was a guy at the register, and then there were like other people doing stuff. And then one guy was making the food, and there were a line of like 6 of us. And I kept looking at the guy at the register thinking, can you help a brother out over here? He's trying to keep up. And I almost said what he was doing. Screw it. He's rolling a burrito. He's rolling a burrito.
That narrows it down.
He's rolling a burrito, and I'm thinking the whole time, sir, there's no chance you're going to make that into a burrito. There's too much stuff there.
Oh my God, this is the Bo Burnham bit, right, Zacho?
Yes.
I don't know.
Genius. Yeah, no, I'm not saying you're stealing it, but there's a genius Bo Burnham bit about a guy trying to clearly fold a burrito that ain't gonna fold. There's too much stuff in there.
Right. And we're all looking at him, and we're all like, how long are we going to be here? Right? And then, again, I'm not going to say where the place was, so everybody be cool. Out of my peripheral vision in my one good eye, I see a lady walking towards the counter with something in her hand. And she goes, I just found this in my food. And I was like, well, that'll do it.
Did you see what it was?
I have no idea. I don't want to know because I'll never go back there again if I find out. I had to get out of there immediately.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think I've told you this before, but I went to a place one time and I was eating my sandwich, and as I was eating it, an ant crawled out of it. It took me forever to go back to that place, and I still have a hard time with it. If I had heard her say what was in her food, I would never frequent that place again.
Right, and let's not say the name of the place where you had the ant come out of it, but you didn't eat Whoppers for like 15 years.
Oh, Lordy. Now I can, and it's probably worse that I didn't hear what she found because now I've created in my mind that it was a fingernail. At one point I thought, what if it was a tooth? And then I would have said, well, if it was a tooth, how would she have known it wasn't hers? Because she looked like it might have been hers. Oh, food industry. Y'all are the best. Thank you for what you do. I don't know how you deal with it.
Yeah, but cleaning hotel rooms.
Oh, it's the worst.
I guess I didn't even really think of the female housekeeper getting like, hey, you want to come in this room?
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
I
just thought of all the grossness.
Almost every day.
Oh, really?
Almost every day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, then in Vegas, it's got to be 10 times worse,
can you
right? Because that's
imagine?
just a bunch of drunk people with money before they lose it.
Yeah. But if you're a hooker, what a great double dip. Am I right?
Yeah, because that's what I want to do in between sex sessions is clean rooms.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you're going to clean it, it might as well be your own stuff.
Oh, my God. Oh, God. Hey, isn't Grimmer supposed to be coming in? Is Grimmer
he should
in?
be here.
Okay, Grimmer should be here in a second as well.
You got it in. I heard it.
Front page sports after this on The Fan.
I'm so sorry.
The Fan.
Power Hour starts at 8 a.m. It's powered by Quantum Fiber. You can watch it at KFAN.com/watch. Again, Quantum Fiber. Your world unleashed.
Oh, Mike Grimm is here.
Hello. Good Monday morning.
Good morning, Mike Grimm.
How about that number 29 of the Bears?
How about that?
It's the worst.
I know, man.
Tyreek Stevenson on the final play, Hail Mary. The ball's already snapped, and he had his back to the play because he was still celebrating and trash talking the fans
or something.
And then he's the guy that runs all the way across the field once he gets back into the play. He's the one that tips it up and back to Noah Brown.
So I saw today already, there's now new speculation that his assignment on that play is to follow 85, that he's the corner, and he's not anywhere near 85.
No.
Right, 85 made the catch.
Mm-hmm.
That he's supposed to just track him wherever he's supposed to go, and he just said to hell with it.
Right.
I'm going to taunt. So then even after he saw the ball, he kind of waited. Right? Man, and that guy was kind of a dink the whole game. He was trash talking.
I can't wait to talk to Leber about this, and maybe Dragan Kesic, your guy's coming in later
is
too.
he? What time?
7:30.
Very nice.
None of us, until you get there, know what it's like to be in that spot, right?
Right.
Ben Leber has lived it, but the rest of us have not. We don't know what it's like to be on that stage, and it's easy for a lot of us to sit on our couch and go like, I would never do this, or I would never do that, especially like the guys that celebrate and accidentally drop the ball right before the goal line.
Yeah.
I can sit here and go, I would never do that, right? I don't think I would ever do that. I really don't. Is it possible that I lose track of where I'm at? I guess. But I can 100% say I would never do what Tyreek Stevenson did yesterday. That's just not in my nature because I would be so nervous. It's
we
the
would
final
F it
play.
up other ways.
Right. I would give up the touchdown, but I would do it by being in the right spot and then just getting out jumped
somewhere. Yeah.
I just cannot imagine it's the final play and you're so oblivious that you have to trash talk fans that can't hear what you're saying anyway.
And he was, like I said, he was a dink the whole game. He was trash talking and taunting. He got an offsetting penalty earlier in the game on a breakup in the end zone where he really didn't have much to do with it. The guy hit the ground and the ball bounced away. He got up and he stood over the guy.
What do you think happens when the team comes together and they review film as a group?
Can't be good.
Do you think Eberflus just basically destroys him? You almost have to call it out.
I don't know who the guy was before yesterday. Is he good? Like if he's marginal, he's probably cut, right?
Well, I know that he came out and said,
he tweeted an apology.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But
so, I don't know.
Man.
Like if he's just a marginal guy, you probably cut him.
That's so embarrassing.
That was not good.
No, again, even if he had been paying attention, theoretically, maybe the same thing happens. Not the exact same thing, right? Butterfly effect. But maybe the Commanders still find a miracle and they still do it. But if you're going to jump up and tip it, you want to do it when you're trying to make the right play and you're focused and you're giving your best effort. That was the exact opposite.
Well, and you never want to tip it.
You want to knock it down.
You want to knock it down or let it go.
Right.
Don't put it in the air because that's what the Commanders guys were trying to do. They were jumping to tap it. That dude was going to be back there.
Yeah.
And you either have to catch it or
spike
let it go. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Spike it, yeah. You don't let somebody behind you either. I mean, that's the key. You don't let somebody behind you.
You got to have somebody back there.
And apparently that was his guy.
Yeah. Well, how about and Jason Garrett on Sunday Night Football last night, or Football Night in America, was obliterating the Bears for the play before because there was 6 seconds left. And they gave the Commanders, I think, 13-ish or so yards with zero resistance.
Nothing.
Basically just, we're going to watch the end zone. And they throw it to McLaurin, get some 13-ish yards.
Because I think the throw was 64 yards in the air. So if they don't get that 13.
Exactly. And Daniels can chuck it. He got it all the way to the end line.
Crazy.
After 13 seconds of running around. That's how long he ran back there.
Chris Sims, I saw, too, was talking about a bunch of holding. I didn't think there was any egregious holding.
No, there was one little tug. Exactly. There was one little tug there. You're like, maybe.
But there were some Bears fans I saw. There's 3 holds of... Nah, stop it.
You guys blew it.
Yeah. Romo was all over that part of it, too, right away. When he said...
The play before?
He was like, hey, they're playing way too deep. Get 10 or... He first said, I think it was something like he said, get 6 or 7 yards. He goes, actually... Go get 10 or 12 yards, and that's exactly what they did. I thought it was a little risky because I thought they could run out of time, but they did it perfectly.
And you saw McLaurin almost sprint out of bounds, right? He caught it and tried to get a foot out as quickly as he could, and there was 2 seconds left on the clock for the Hail Mary. Hey, let's officially do Front Page Sports since we're talking sports anyway, shall we?
I like that idea.
Time now for Front Page Sports, presented by Holiday Station Stores.
Holiday Station Stores, buy 2, get 1 free. Mix and match any Gatorades you want, any flavors of Gatorade at Holiday. 28 ounces, buy 2, get 1 free. Hydrate and quench your thirst with our friends at Holiday. Thanks, Holiday.
Yeah, thank you, Holiday.
Love Holiday.
Me too.
The Commanders did win 18-15 over the Bears with a 52-yard Hail Mary on the final play, but like Grimmer just said, I think SportsCenter said 66 yards in the air, but even so, mid-60s, that's how far he threw it.
And the other thing was he got so much air under. It wasn't like, that's an arm.
That's why don't you call it Noah's Ark, since Noah caught it and the dude arced it?
Yeah.
The tip got arced.
Is there some other name they're calling it?
I actually like this one, too. They're calling it Hail Maryland. I like that one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Madhouse in Maryland, I saw.
Somebody said it's the Washington walk-off. I like...
Did you come up with that yourself?
I did, but it's just my biblical background.
Yeah. Well, you're very well studied in the Bible.
100%.
Would you say mostly Old or New Testament, your wheelhouse?
Column A, column B.
Yeah.
A little of both. I dabble.
The tip, then 6 is what I was going to call it.
What is it?
The tip, then 6.
Oh, my God.
You got to warm it up.
Yeah, for sure.
This looks nothing like Dwayne Wade. Have you guys seen that?
That is the worst statue I've ever seen.
We got to stop making statues. We have artificial intelligence. Why can't we do AI statues?
Oh my God.
Every statue that comes out in the last couple of years is just obliterated because they don't look like, which makes me believe when you go back to all like the great sculptors in the history of art.
Yeah.
You're like, man, that's what so-and-so must have looked like. It didn't look anything like that person.
We ain't got any sculptors.
We can't do it.
Right. Oh, my God.
We cannot do it.
That looks like a
looks like
million different people.
Aristotle.
If you don't know what we're talking about, I derailed the show. I'm sorry. Miami Heat honored Dwayne Wade with a statue of somebody else.
It doesn't look anything like him.
I mean, it's got the uniform number.
Yeah, that's
That's the
did you
only
see
way.
his reaction? Like he's looking at it, he kind of turns around, and there's a video because they did like the smoke comes out and they open the thing, and he turns around and you can tell he's like, "What in the hell is that?" And he has like this half fake grin, like, "Yay, thanks a lot."
I feel like that happens every time in Canton too when they show the football players seeing their quote bus for the first time.
Yeah.
It's always like, wow, look he's in awe that he's finally in the Hall of Fame. He's in awe because he doesn't recognize the person that he's looking at. He's like, is this the right one? Every time.
They took the wrong guy off.
So bad.
Somebody says Lawrence Fishburne.
That's the guy. That's who I couldn't remember his name. That's exactly who I thought it was. If he got inducted into the Academy Awards Hall of Fame, they should put that head in that thing.
My God.
It is Lawrence Fishburne 100%. And now that there was some guy that was tweeting out like he took a bunch of Dwayne Wade highlights and then superimposed the head. It's incredible. Oh my God. Like they got LeBron dunking. With the real LeBron, and then they got Wade standing over there with his arms out with this head superimposed in.
God.
Oh my God! It is Lawrence
Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah,
it's exactly him. That's who it is.
Brilliant.
Gopher Football crushed Maryland on Saturday for homecoming, 48-23, and some of those points by Maryland just were garbage points late, so we'll take it. But Brosmer 320 and 4 touchdowns, 2 to Jackson, 2 to Spencer. Darius Taylor 81 yards on the ground in his score. Season highs for Brosmer, both yards and touchdowns.
Great.
Gophers have won 3 straight. USC, UCLA, and now Maryland. Up next at Illinois, Saturday at 11 o'clock. And Illinois just lost to number 1 Oregon 38-9. The DraftKings line. Have you seen it?
I think I did see it. Was it 3?
No. Gophers 1.5 as of last night.
Come on.
Yeah, Gophers are favored by 1.5.
No.
That's what I saw yesterday.
No.
Hang on, let me double check.
You got to double check.
DraftKings yesterday had Gophers in 1.5. I also was surprised. That's why I wrote it down. Let's see. The Gophers have never beaten Brett Bielema, correct?
Right.
I don't. Now it's 2. Gophers by 2.
Gophers are -2.
Gophers -2, so it's gone up a half a point.
Wow, how about that?
All right.
Good for us. Hey, can I tip the cap to our buddy Nordo?
Hell yeah.
So I was in with Nordo on Thursday for a little bit talking Gopher football, and we're talking offense. And he's like, don't you think it's about time the Gophers hang a 50 burger on somebody? And I looked at him like his head just spun around. Like the Gophers run a slow down offense. They're in the Big Ten. They're probably not going to hang a 50 burger on anybody. And then they go out and drop 48. So it's not quite the 50 burger. But how about Nordo calling it?
That's cool.
I heard you give him a shout out on the broadcast.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I had to.
Yeah, man.
I thought he was like, what are we talking about, Nordo?
I did not hear the Larry David reference. It sounds like you got it in.
Would you like to hear it?
I'm excited for this one.
You.
Well, I'm excited
because you told me last week you're kind of cutting it close toward the end of these games,
right?
So I got this baby done.
Oh, early,
right away.
So I haven't heard it. I'm excited for it because, to be honest, it is an easy one. So I just want to see
slam dunk of all slam dunks.
So I want to see what you do with it because
on Saturday's game.
When Meat Sauce gave his 2 stupid lines that he wanted me to say,
I didn't want to say
Hawkey
it,
gave 2 or 3.
Yeah.
When you said that one, I'm like, yeah, I'll take that one.
It's too easy.
I mean, sometimes
get creative.
Sometimes
though.
you need a cream puff.
Sure.
Sometimes you need a cakewalk.
Amen.
Thank you.
Hey.
Dear God.
Yeah. Hands down, Zacho.
All right, so this was first quarter early?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And I love Daryl's reaction.
In motion, the receiver to throw. Brosmer fires, has a man caught near the goal line. Touchdown! Daniel Jackson, his 2nd touchdown of the year. He had 2 grabs on this drive, and Minnesota with a beautiful drive to start. Pretty good.
I got nothing, no words for that. But it was a beautiful drive, a beautiful throw, and for Daniel Jackson to get in the end zone, it's actually exactly how you want to start the game.
So he didn't get the reference at all. He just thought you dropped pretty good on.
I think he knew that was the line, but he had no idea.
Oh, really? See, I think that's vague enough where maybe he just thought this is Grimm being weird again.
Could have been.
That's not. That doesn't sound like a fake kind of forced line. It just sounds like you thought he was.
It was a nice, pretty good play.
Pretty good. He's like, geez, I work with the weirdest guy.
He smiled. He looked at me and smiled and said, "I don't know what the hell."
So he doesn't watch Curb. He doesn't know that
must
reference.
Not. Yeah.
Man,
and honestly, I wouldn't have known it. I hadn't watched that show either.
Right.
You're missing out.
I know. I need to watch it. There's a bunch of stuff having hung out with you guys now that I need to start a list of watching.
I love every episode of Curb, but much like Seinfeld, you can skip about the first 4 seasons.
Okay.
Then you can get right to the
and you wouldn't miss out in any.
Not really.
Okay.
No. I mean, you're definitely going to miss some laughs because I think there's a whole bunch of good stuff in the first couple seasons, but you can.
But there's
skip
there's
ahead.
nothing of a storyline that they would hit on later.
Not really.
Yeah.
Not that you can't pick up quickly. It's a comedy.
How sad that we only get this kid for 1 season.
Brosmer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said it earlier. I've said it in past weeks, but really felt it after watching him on Saturday.
Yeah.
Kid's just figuring it out. Coming into zone. He's making hard choices and it's paying off. I love it.
Yeah. He's got he's got a great mind. I mean, it processes well. He's picking the right spots. He's checking down when he has to. And I know check down in football has kind of become like, oh, don't check down, but it works. It works for sure. And he has really made smart decisions. The second touchdown of the day was to Elijah Spencer. Guardsy interviewed him in the postgame on the field, and he asked him about it because it took a minute. He had dropped back. He looked left to somebody else. And he kind of scanned it, and then he lobbed it kind of to him toward the right corner, right along the back line. And he said, describe the touchdown. And Spencer says, we practice that all the time. It has never in practice gotten to the point where he's thrown it to me. So they've never practiced that throw because usually, they're just kind of walking through or whatever. The first couple of guys are open or whatever. So think about that process where you've never even practiced that throw. So he's not open. Oh, geez, he's covered. Oh, there. Let's do that.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty cool, I think.
Not only does it suck that we only get him for 1 year, but it sucks that that North Carolina game, he seemed so handcuffed because they didn't seem like they wanted to unleash him yet. You look back and go, man, if you had this Brosmer in that game, we probably
if they play this Saturday, they're a 10-point favorite on North Carolina.
Absolutely.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Is we just played them at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Well, to your point, again, my guess is you thought Illinois was a 3-point favorite, right?
For sure.
So the fact that the Gophers are traveling to Illinois, they've never beaten Bielema.
Yeah. And they're not it's hard to be a road favorite in the Big Ten.
And they were just ranked before they got blown out
they're
by...
right now, 24.
Oh, they still are?
They still are.
So they're hanging... There's a top 25 team, and you're going to them, and you're
many,
slight favorites.
I wonder how many times in the history of Gopher football they've been a road favorite against a ranked team.
Man, that's a great question.
It's a great question.
But I'll tell you
Power
what,
Trip
man.
Bets, you have a homework assignment.
Yeah, I think it's happened because I think we've talked about maybe it was Michigan State in like 22. I want to say maybe they were a slight favorite, even though Michigan State was ranked. Because I think we actually talked about it. It's something in the back of my mind.
How weird that was.
Yeah, but I bet I did very often. So that's.
Let's see if we can make it
Let's
happen.
Go do it. Let's
on,
go.
Saturday.
Here's the crazy thing: 1 home game left. That's it. There's only 4 games left. The season's just flying by.
Man, it really is.
Yeah.
I watched some of that Oregon-Illinois game at Clay's in Rockford in a bar. Actually, at a
Rockford,
bar watching,
Minnesota.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Wow.
And Oregon beat the hell out of them.
Did they?
So
I have not watched it yet. I'll rewatch it.
And
this
Oregon's great. Their defense is really, really good this year. Not just they're always good on offense. Their defense is really good this year. But maybe that's got something to do with the point spread because they beat the hell out of them.
Yeah.
They rocked their world.
Well, Grimmer, you just had 3 road games out of the Final 4, and the 1 home game is against number 3 Penn State. So this is a tough stretch the rest of the way.
It's a tough schedule. At Wisconsin on Black Friday. At Rutgers looks winnable. I mean, not that it never was not winnable, but they're pretty pedestrian.
You want to stick around for another one or what?
I can do whatever you guys want.
More of Mike Grimm after this. Ben Leber in like 10 minutes. Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's 6:27, Monday on the Power Trip. Grimmer stuck around. Talked about that big win for your Gophers and getting you ready for another one this weekend, hopefully.
Yeah, let's do it. Be 4 in a row.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. All right, should we do what really matters? Scores and stats, and we can learn some other stuff before Leber gets here.
You dang right.
Game 3 of the World Series is tonight, 7:08 in New York. The Los Angeles Dodgers of Anaheim are up 2-rip on the Yankees. Freeman with a walk-off grand slam in number 1.
Come
that
on.
was
That was insane.
unbelievable.
That was unreal, man.
Just so cool. Right, everything that people love about baseball, but just unfortunately
Yeah.
Just doesn't seem to happen often enough for the nation to care. But, man, that's baseball at its best. That was unbelievable. Then he hit another home run in game 2. So far, through 2 games, there's no doubt Freddie Freeman is your early MVP leader and is going to have a statue that looks nothing like him eventually put up in Los Angeles.
Yeah. It was obviously reminiscent of the Gibson shot, right, in 88, game 1. And apparently Freeman's kind of half hurt.
He's super hurt. Yeah, he didn't play several times throughout the playoffs because his back and his foot are so messed up.
That in. And then I thought, I didn't see the play live. I saw the play live. I was at a music show. The play was, I'm listening to music, but the shows or the play's up there, so we saw it live, but didn't hear the call. Then later, you see the call. It's pretty good. Joe Davis, who's the regular season, by the way, voice of the Dodgers, so he's been around that franchise since Vin Scully retired, makes the call and uses the, she is gone, which is exactly the call Scully used in 88.
Then he says Gibby meet Freddie. Yeah, that was a super cool moment.
So it was a pretty good call. Kind of like when Joe Buck back in whatever year, 2011, when David Freese hit the walk-off for the Cardinals to force a Game 7, and Joe Buck used his dad's line on the Puckett, where we'll see you tomorrow night, which I thought was, people here got offended. I thought it was brilliant.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah.
People get mad about whatever.
And Shohei, did he dislocate his shoulder or something like that?
Yeah, but they said he's cleared to play. He's all good.
Yeah. Ouch.
But what a moment, man. Dude just first pitch swinging, crushed it.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was incredible.
Those kind of moments in sports, same thing with the Washington Hail Maryland.
Yes.
Same thing with the Minneapolis
the Noah's
Miracle.
Ark, I prefer.
The Noah's Ark, I do like that. Who came up with that? Great idea.
Yeah, genius.
That's Twitter at its best, or social media at its best, because then you get 9 billion cell phone videos from in the stadium. I could have watched, somebody posted like a minute and a half of just Freddie Freeman walk-off grand slam fan videos.
Fan video, yeah.
I was captivated. I'm like, I couldn't stop watching every angle of them screaming when the ball comes off the bat, because you knew that sound was so clean. You're like, that ball's out of the stadium. Yeah. That was sick.
And that video that kind of started the whole thing with what's the guy from the Bears?
Tyreek Stevenson.
Ben's
favorite player.
Yeah, he loves that guy. That must have been that guy. I clicked on who it was, and he's got a bunch of Viking stuff on it. So I don't know the guy's from Minnesota, but that's the guy that started the whole thing on Stevenson, because he was in a suite and he videoed it. And I don't know who the guy is, but he had a bunch of Vikings tweets.
Ben, your quick Twitch thoughts on Tyreek Stevenson of the Bears trash talking before the Hail Mary. Actually, not before, during. Before and partially during.
No, I know. That's the thing. When I saw the video first, I was like, oh my gosh, this has actually happened while the play is going on.
The ball is already snapped, and he still got his back to the play.
Yeah.
And then he was the one that ran over and tipped it up.
Doesn't surprise me. I've played with a lot of idiots before. A lot of idiots.
Let's name some.
And let's go through that. Let's just start.
Give us an alphabetical list.
Here's my top 10.
What happened to that guy today?
There's a lot of stupid players that just, they get selfish. They get caught up in the moment. They think it's more fun to taunt or whatever in that situation. It's just the best part is he was the reason that they lost. Like, he tipped it up in the air. I mean, it's one thing to be taunting during the play. It's another to be directly involved in the actual loss.
So what does Eberflus do today? Do you have to point that out in front of the entire team?
Yeah.
How bad do you make it? Do you obliterate him and basically say this is, the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen? Or do you kind of just throw it up there and say, I don't have to state the obvious. This is unacceptable. Like, do you absolutely light him up? What do you do?
I think it just depends on what type of player he is historically with that organization. If he's one of those guys that's like, one of their leaders, and he really is hardworking, and he's like sort of the spirit animal of that defense, then I think you just point it out. You don't harp on it. You just point it out and say, listen, guys, we can't have this. This is not winning football. We've got to do this, all the way to the whistle and yada, yada, yada. You definitely point it out. But if he's a guy that's a turd and he's been a turd, you blast him. You put him, as they say, on Front Street.
All right, so let me throw out a couple of names. Not saying these people would ever do this, but if this is Harrison Smith, what does Kevin O'Connell do if Smith is the one that was doing this? He would never, but I'm just saying, let's say it's him. What do you do?
I mean, you would probably put it out there in the team meeting and just say, look, we all understand, we all know what happened, we all saw the video. Harrison, we expect more out of you. It's kind of like that parental, like we expect more out of you. Like
we're disappointed.
We're disappointed. Mm-hmm. And that's the other thing is like, this is most likely, I mean, that you screw up when it's addressed in a team meeting. When your actual play is addressed in a team meeting, that you really screwed up. Or, I mean, sometimes if you had a really great play, they'll address it in a positive way. But typically, these things are handled by offense versus defense when you sort of break up and you watch your own film review. In a situation like this, when you get called out in a team meeting, I mean, you feel about an inch tall. It is brutal. But he deserves it. And that's the way it works in the league. It's like you get called out for things that you should get called out for.
If he's a guy like Smith, you just, hey, we know who you are. That wasn't you, whatever. And you mentioned if he's a turd, what if he's a marginal turd, barely a starter? He's a turd, but he's a marginal turd.
I think Tyreek
title of the podcast.
I think he is a starter.
Okay, but what if he's marginal? I mean, could you cut him? I mean, does it rise to the level of...
Could you cut that marginal turd?
Yeah, if you could do that.
You'd have to...
Yeah, he's a starter for sure, but I don't know how good he is. I don't follow...
I think he won Defensive Player of the Week in Week 1.
Yeah, okay,
for that.
so
he got a pick 6 on Will Levis, which everyone in the league has.
Yeah, who hasn't? Was that little shovel pass stupid play that he did when he almost
I can't keep track of all the stupid plays.
That was the dumbest pass in the history of the NFL.
Well, until next week when he plays again.
Hey, Ben, were you as offended as Jason Garrett and others were with the play before, though, just giving Terry McLaurin free reign to get like 13 yards to set up the Hail Mary?
Like no, I think that was... I mean, that was the right play. That's the right plan. You get a little bit closer because he still launched it, 65 yards in the air from where he was at?
But that's because you gave him those 13 for free.
The Bears. Garrett was ripping the Bears for allowing that 13-yard
Yeah, because there was no one even...
Yeah, but what do you... I don't think that you can... I don't think in that situation defensively you want to put too many assets underneath to take away that play or to play it stronger because you don't want to have a 30-yard hit. I think you'd rather give up a 12 to 15 and be like, fine, they still have to get the ball 60 yards down the field in the end zone. I mean, I think you just play the odds. I have no problem with that at all. Okay. I mean, you're playing for the Hail Mary, fine, pick up 12 yards, 15 yards, no big deal. They still messed up. And the thing is, everybody, it's so funny how everybody's like taking this X's and O's approach to this whole Hail Mary situation. Mm-hmm. It's like, look, we're not setting this up in a vacuum. He ran around for 13 seconds. Your best laid plans is kind of going out the window. When the ball's in the air, yes, there is a loose, talked about sort of black and white. You get a guy here, you get a guy here. Obviously, defensively, you knock it down. But I would even say Washington screwed that up. You have a guy in the front and you have a guy in the back because if you expect the Bears to do what they're supposed to do and knock the ball down, well then you want a guy there in the front to possibly catch the ball and then sneak in, and you want a guy behind. So everybody's taking this let's break this play down. No, it's a freaking Hail Mary, man. You chuck it up. You just want to knock it down, and you want to have a couple guys around there for the tips. And that's exactly what Washington
I like that you just said that because almost as soon as you started saying that, that's what Herm Edwards was on SportsCenter doing.
It's so stupid.
He was Phil Jackson drawing up the triangle. This guy should have moved here and this guy should have.
Oh, God, it just drives me crazy, the reaction to all this.
More with What Really Matters after this. Mike Grimm, you want to stick around again? We got nothing to do.
Yeah,
stick around.
Sure.
Bus will be here in 25 minutes.
Very well.
More with Ben Leber and the rest of the Power Trip Morning Show after this on The Fan.
And we're back, 6:43, Power Trip Morning Show. Here we are. Vikings play Sunday night against the Indianapolis Colts. And then we got 3 road games in a row. So Colts this Sunday, and then at Jacksonville, at Tennessee, at Chicago. And then we have 3 home games in a row. Weird schedule this year. But that's okay. Lots to get to, lots of NFL to talk about because the NFL has suddenly gone crazy. I don't know what's going on.
You know what I hate though about the NFL right now? I feel really bad for Aaron Rodgers. They're falling apart. They've lost 5 straight.
I know.
Oh,
and how about Jerry Jones? How do you feel for the Cowboys?
Same. You want some of these guys just to have a little bit of light in their life.
Yeah.
You know? Same thing with Mike Zimmer. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy getting that job in Dallas.
Yeah.
And it's just not going his way. It's tough, man.
It is.
Jameis Winston looking good. I feel really, really bad for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah,
all these guys that you really want to cheer for, and nothing's
Just
going their way.
high-quality people.
Yeah, nothing's going their way. Let's do more of what really matters, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's start by doing Wild News, brought to you by our friends at Catalyst Supply and CatalystSupplyCo.com. Thanks, Catalyst. Love Catalyst. Great dudes. The Wild lost 7-5 in Philadelphia Saturday. They are at Pittsburgh tomorrow. That is finally the final game of this 7-game road stretch. Now, Zachary, I believe they came home for a little bit of it, right, when they had that long layoff. So they've been home for a couple of days, but for the most part, on the road during this 7-game road stretch. They're finally back at the XL Energy Center on Friday, but they are at Pittsburgh tomorrow. But that is their first loss in regulation, 7-5 against Philly on Saturday. The Wild are 5-1-2.
Yeah, that sucked. Just because it was a very winnable game, and the bounces weren't there. I think they had the Flyers had 2 goals on 5 shots at one point, and then it was looking like, okay, well, cool. They might not win, but it looks like we're going to go to overtime and like 2.5 to go. Flyers score, make it 6-5, and it just wasn't their afternoon out in Philly. Pittsburgh is struggling. I think they've lost like 5 straight, so a good opportunity to get some more points. But regardless, even if they lose tonight, it was one hell of a road trip, and now they can come home and have some more comfortable confines. But one more game to go tomorrow. 6:00 start right here on the Fan.
But what really matters is this.
The exercise paradox, also known as the workout paradox, refers to the finding that physical activity, while essential for maintaining overall health, does not necessarily lead to significant weight loss or increased calorie expenditure.
Huh?
Wow.
What stupid study was this?
The exercise paradox.
Well, the paradox is wrong.
I know.
I like
Finding the physical
paradoxes.
activity, while essential
I just
for
like the
maintaining
one.
paradox. Challenge a common belief that most exercise equations. Merge studies calorie expenditure between populations. I don't know. I could read this whole thing, but
well, that's one paradox that I don't believe in.
right, yeah.
So you're going with that exercising does burn calories.
Yeah. I'm guessing that exercise compared to sedentary lifestyle versus sitting on the couch all day, I'm guessing it does burn a little bit more calories.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's probably good for you to do that.
I like my
I don't
Doc
know, man.
Martens. I got a nice pair of Docs.
I know it's a hot take.
Next time I'm sitting on the couch and I'm like, man, I should be doing something more active. I'm going to go, nah, exercise paradox. I'm doing just fine. Going to keep watching the Poker Go Cup and see who wins.
So by definition, are they sort of confused by their own research?
Probably. That's the paradox.
Right? A paradox is like, this is kind of confusing, right? This is like, let's contemplate this. This is not a really definitive
right, like
principle.
the Pinocchio paradox, right? If he says that he's about to tell a lie.
Yeah.
Right.
Right, Grimm?
Yeah, 100%.
Sneak that one by Daryl Thompson. Talk to Daryl Thompson about the Pinocchio paradox.
And you know
What is the Pinocchio paradox?
That if Pinocchio says I'm about to what is it? Is I'm about to tell a lie?
I'm lying or
I'm
something.
lying.
Like that.
Yeah.
Then he's telling the
We always
truth.
botch this, but essentially
Yeah. If he
he's-
says I'm lying, he's telling the truth.
right, and then it's the world explodes.
Well, no. But Pinocchio can tell the truth. It's just that if he does lie, his nose grows.
Right, so if he says something like my nose is about to grow.
Yeah, this isn't like liar situation.
Right, but if he says my nose is about to grow, then if it does grow, he's telling the truth, and it only grows when he's lying, so that can't be so then the world explodes.
Yeah.
Well, that existence is over.
That is
anyway.
deep thoughts right there.
Right, just get Daryl's thoughts against Illinois on Saturday.
I will.
He can probably break it down. He'll probably write it out.
He'll say it better than we did. Yeah. Almost anyone could say it better than what we just tried to say it.
You got that one right.
Benjamin, here, hot take. I want your take on this hot take.
Okay.
Are the Detroit Lions the best team in football?
Well, no.
No.
I mean, Kansas City right now until they get knocked off, until they show any sort of.
But if those two teams played today, who do you think would win? If you had to bet on one of the two at a neutral site.
Box. Okay. Yeah, I'd take the Lions.
Yes, I think I would too. Detroit 52-14 over the Titans. I know the Titans are bad, but that game was tied 14-14.
Yeah. Early on,
second quarter.
Boy, they are struggling.
And then 38 straight after that. The Lions are now 6-1. They've won 5 straight. Just a monster game. And everything was working, right? They got Gibbs in the mix. Goff obviously was awesome. I think they returned a kick or a punt or something. It's just like all three phases are firing on all cylinders. They're going to be tough.
Yeah, they're real good.
They're somehow better than they were last year, and they almost figured it out last year.
They're good.
Which is really hard to do. I mean, you talk about, George Kittle, because of the whole receiver thing, you really gave us an insight and just like the mentality. It is real hard to get so close and then bounce back the next year and be better. Mm-hmm. It's one thing to feel that and know what it takes to be a championship level team, and then to fall so short. A lot of times these teams like almost have a lag year before they pick it back up the following year. And for these guys just to be as hungry as they were last year and as good, I mean, it's super. That coaching staff and that front office is they are spectacular.
Hey, somebody help me with this stat, because I think I'm like 95% sure this is correct, but somebody fact check me to make sure this is accurately relayed. On one of the pregame shows, I think it was CBS. One of the pregame shows was talking about how hard it is to get back to the Super Bowl after you've lost it, right? They were kind of talking about how the Niners have gone through a bunch of injuries, and Brock Purdy got there, but got close, but lost. It's something like 18 straight quarterbacks who have gone to the Super Bowl and lost the first time they've gone. It's like 18 straight have never gone back. Like the last one who lost their first Super Bowl and went back to the Super Bowl, not to win it, just ever got back to the Super Bowl, was Jim Kelly when he lost 4 straight. So every other quarterback who's gotten there either won it when they got there for the first time, or they lost it and never got back.
Yeah.
That's the whole seizing the moment. Is that correct, Max? Or not?
Yeah. Well, I'm seeing a post. I saw this. It's from 3 years ago, but I'm imagining that there's a couple more QBs added to the stat. But it says the last 16 QBs to lose in their Super Bowl debut have never even made it back.
All right, sweet. So add Purdy to that list, and then who's the one before that? Maybe Jalen Hurts,
Joe Burrow.
Oh, Joe Burrow. There you go. So now it's 18 straight.
That was the one when Burrow lost. Everyone was like, "Well, he'll be back. He'll be back. He's got another chance."
They didn't even go into the playoffs.
If I had to bet, I would bet he won't be back.
I know.
Look at the AFC. I mean,
yeah, I know.
They're not even going back to the playoffs this year.
Yeah,
but Dan Marino win his rookie year and never went back.
Sure, but look at the Niners, right? I still think the Niners can figure this out, but man, they just cannot stay healthy, right? And I'm not saying Jordan Mason's a game changer, but that backup running back looked pretty good last night.
He really did.
That kid looked solid.
Wow.
But man, they are decimated, and they're 4-4.
And Debo went out again last night with a rib injury.
Right, and he had pneumonia this week.
Yeah, so, pneumonia, and then now a rib injury.
So it is that team healthy. I still think has the best roster in football.
Yeah.
But they're just not healthy. So this is a year for the Lions or somebody else, Vikings, anybody, to say, well, in a normal year we'd have to get through San Francisco, but I don't think we have to go through them this year, or at least not at full strength. Take advantage. This is a wide open NFC for Detroit to just power through and get there.
Well, and the thing is that since we're turning this into Detroit radio, it's the thing that I think is the difference for them is the way they have this two-headed rushing attack. I mean, they hit you in so many different ways with the power of Montgomery, and then, I mean, you guys all saw it. Jahmyr Gibbs is just, he's different.
He's awesome.
I mean, he is incredible what they can do with him. And then, what's different for them, for Goff this year is, compared to last year, I think that he is so comfortable with all the weapons that he has, he never has to force anything. That's the thing. If you would look at his his mental makeup and all this other physical tools, and you're like, is he a Super Bowl quarterback? I'm like, yeah, he is now.
Did he got them to the Super Bowl, right? The Rams, and they lost, or no?
Who, Goff?
Yeah. So he would be the first. He'd break that streak.
To lose and bring it back.
To get back?
Yeah.
There you go.
We should look and see what quarterbacks have not been.
Lost in it. Oh, there you go.
Never been, because that would be where you'd place your money.
Well, Darnold hasn't.
Kirk Cousins hasn't. Who else?
How about Cousins and the Falcons, by the way?
Well, they're
all of a
right.
sudden they're 5-3.
Well, and how about what they do the Bucks? I mean, this twice now. They just demolished.
Over 800 yards in the 2 games Cousins has thrown for against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Wow. By the way, back to the Lions for 1 second, just to extend Lions radio. More proof that GMs should adhere to the best player available in the draft. Because when they took Jahmyr Gibbs, what was it, the 12th pick or something like that? 12th or 13th? They didn't necessarily need a running back. And running backs don't get drafted that highly that often. And do you remember that was the year that I think the Vikings at least were interested in Gibbs, but they had a later pick. Like, everybody thought he was supposed to go in the 20s somewhere.
Yeah.
But the Lions are like, nope, F this. We don't care what we need or what we think about what other people. This is the guy. Who cares? Right? You can't get cute with value if you just think you have a superstar.
Well,
you just grab him.
And especially because he's viewed as more of a weapon than he is just a running back. It's like, okay, yeah, he can run the ball really well and all this other stuff, but he can catch out of the backfield. Like he is sort of that Christian McCaffrey style of player where, yeah, he's not just your run-of-the-mill running back. He's more than that. So we're going to value him higher in what we can do with Ben Johnson's offense and yada, yada. They did the same thing with, I keep doing the Rosie thing. They did the same thing with Jack Campbell, their linebacker out of Iowa. They're like, we don't care if you guys all view him as being overdrafted. Like, we want him to fit this scheme. We like his mentality. We like what he brings. We like his intangibles. We're going to draft him because we like him. The hell with you guys.
Yeah.
Of course, he took a kicker.
But it only works if it's good, though. Teams that suck do that. And then they say, well, the reason they're no good is because they continue to F up the draft because they draft guys over where they should. They could have traded back to get that guy. So they just are good.
It's an inexact science. Yeah.
But they've got it hit. So Brad Holmes is their GM. When I worked in St. Louis, the Rams were still in town. Was he there when you were there?
I don't even know.
So he was an
intern. So little attention to that organization.
They did the same to you, by the way.
I know, they did the same to me.
Yeah. What year did you play there, though?
2011.
Okay, so this was way late. This was way before. I'm going to say it's like 2003 or 2004. He's an intern. Brad Holmes is an intern in the PR department.
Wow.
Like he's just helping,
just do
Sam Ekstrom or John Ekstrom out there, right? And the next thing you know, 18 years later, he's a GM of a team that might go to the Super Bowl. Pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That is pretty crazy.
We're talking about the Lions maybe being the best team in the NFL, probably being the best team in the NFC. And if Darnold just hits Jefferson, instead of airmailing it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
If Addison is in the right spot and that's just a connection on 3rd and 4, then the Vikings beat potentially the best team in the NFL and would have been 6-0.
That's for sure.
So, I mean, that's how close we were. And then for whatever reason, it just didn't look very good on Thursday night against the Rams. So hopefully the theory that everybody's been saying for the last week that we just got our asses kicked physically by Detroit is the reason that the Vikings lost Thursday in L.A. Do you buy that, Ben, or not?
Yeah, we haven't talked to you about it, Ben.
Yes or no?
No.
That was my theory, by the way.
No.
So I apologize.
No, I'm not saying that it's because when I watched the game live, I was like, boy, these guys are kind of asleep defensively. I'm like, boy, we're just not moving around as much. And Hawk and I talked about it on and off air, and it's just like, so I do think that there's a little bit of a hangover effect in playing the Lions and emotionally getting up for that game. Sure, I think that, but having watched the film back, it's just no. These were not physical mistakes; they were all mental mistakes.
So we didn't Tyreek Stevenson or meat sauce it. We just
no.
I mean, Stevenson's too long. I'm just going to say meat sauce. It sounds better.
Yeah, we all know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Better reference. I mean, we've got more examples. He only did it once.
Yeah, he only did it once. We meat sauce it against the Rams.
That we know of.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But what really matters is this.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk more about Ben's thoughts on the game at some point too.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Okay, good. One of the longest writings preserved in Pompeii is the poem of a young woman who was yearning for another woman. I like the word yearning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. I'm yearning for you. I wonder if I could read that.
I don't think I've ever yearned. Right? I've wanted.
Man.
I've lusted. I don't think I've yearned.
You don't think you yearned for a girl in high school?
No, that was more lusted or wanted. I don't think I've ever.
Did you guys see me get slapped by Carly the other day?
Sure.
I'm doing some yearning.
I don't think that was yearning. I can see that's not the face of a man who has yearned.
Oh, I was yearning in my pants.
He got straddled by Carly and smacked across.
That's the only way to describe what happened.
Oh,
she straddled me.
Do you think
this was after I left?
It's hard to see other people living out your dreams.
Do you think the straddling was the difference or the slapping was the difference?
And it wasn't just one slap.
No, it was 3.
It was the straddle. I have so much to say that I will not.
Right.
But let me say, the straddle played, if you know what I mean.
Oh my God.
The straddle played.
I'm so glad you didn't say it.
Well, I'll just say that. Those pants, I'm not going to say it.
Oh my God.
There was movement.
How did we get on this again? Oh, yeah, yearning.
Okay, have you ever pined over anybody?
It looked like I had pine in my pants.
What about swoon? You seem like a swooner.
Yeah,
Core.
you're definitely a swooner.
Nope, I think wanted and lusted are the two. I don't think I'm capable of doing anything that sounds like a poem, like a Walt Whitman kind of yearning situation.
What about giddy?
Like Josh Giddy, like underage girls?
Like giddy up?
I mean, yeah, when I was in high school, sure.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What are you thinking about?
Yeah, you're weird, dude.
No.
Come on, Zacho.
No.
Jeez.
Like giddy up.
Hey, Zacho.
Have you ever been jubilant?
Yes. Oh, jubilant. That's a good one. That was one of my vocabulary words.
You ever been glazed like a donut?
You've ever been jubilated on?
Whoa.
You ever accidentally...
Well, have you, Corey?
Ever accidentally soil your own bed? Hey, Zacho.
Yes.
Speaking of soil,
Sure.
you know what happens today, right?
What's that?
A brand new toilet with the butt cheek warmer gets installed.
Ooh.
That's right, babe.
And the potential of a future bidet, right?
Oh, it's definitely there. It's part of it. I couldn't get one without the other.
Okay, got it.
So it's a bidet butt cheek warmer.
Zacho, I don't think we've talked about this.
Oh no, you've been warming his cheeks?
Hawk, when we were in London town.
Yeah.
The hotel that we stayed in the last night.
That's exactly what I'm yeah.
I know. I bideted it for the first time.
And
how'd you like it?
It's awkward.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I definitely enjoyed the cleanliness.
Sure.
I was a little confused with all the buttons on what I was supposed to actually do, but it was great. I enjoyed it.
Corey, you ever been confused by the buttons?
No, not at all. Ben, when you were getting your butt washed in London, did you yearn for a future butt washing?
No, but it felt like a pine cone coming out, though.
I'm going to tell you right now, brother. When you sat down on that toilet seat and that thing was warm, did you not feel like the Lord had been watching you walk towards the toilet?
Well, I had to get over.
How do you know?
I did not feel like Jesus was in the bathroom with me.
How did you know?
But here's the deal. This is the thing I didn't like. I didn't like it felt like Jesus and all of his disciples had just used the toilet before me. Because whenever you sit on a warm toilet, it feels like, oh yeah, somebody was just on this.
Here.
Somebody was just on this. So it felt odd that I was basically sharing a toilet with somebody else in the room that wasn't really in the room. It could have been Jesus. I don't know.
I got up in the middle of the night and went and sat on that toilet just to warm
Just
my
to get
ace.
warm?
Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, I got home, I called Derek at Aquarius Home Services at AquariusHomeservices.com, and I said, I don't even care what it costs. I want a new toilet with a butt cheek warmer. And he said, this is a wrong number.
Wrong, Derek.
But I'll be up in 5 minutes.
Yeah, what kind of
Derek from the Saints?
What room number again?
This is Derek Shaw. I can't help you. But we will have bidet night at the Saints.
Dude, please do so.
That would be amazing. Line up a bunch of toilets in
Please
center
do
field.
it. Oh my God, a little bobble.
Squirting for days.
Yeah.
Well, hang on, Zach. Have you, Zach, I know you've gone on Twin Cities Live to cook. Have you gone on Twin Cities Live to explain to their viewers how bidets work and how all of the ladies watching Twin Cities Live should be using bidets?
Not Twin Cities Live, but I was on Care 11 at one point, and it said my name on the lower third, Zach Halverson. Bidet aficionado.
That's what it says.
Come on.
That's right. It
and
did.
That's the most.
That was a news story they did?
That was a news story.
Bennett,
Did they interview you?
Yes.
Your 840 call today. Pitch the idea of maybe a future bidet segment with bidet aficionado Zach Halverson.
Only if there's a live demo.
Oh, yes.
Lordy. Lordy.
Anything to help the cause.
Okay.
You're spreading the gospel.
I certainly am.
Yeah, you are.
So this is in your place now, Hawkey?
It will be as of today, man. Of course, it's coming over
so
this
happy
afternoon.
for you.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
I'm going to
about
send
it.
you a card.
I'm going to send you a video.
Oh, my God.
Look, it's spick and span. Oh, no, I got it dirty again.
Grimmer, you're the best, dude. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
See ya, Grimmer.
Bye, Grimm.
More with Ben Leber. Mush should be here in a second. Dragan Kesic of the Gopher football team, the old place kicker who can just absolutely bomb it, should be here in like 30 minutes. More of the Power Trip after this on the Fan.